It starts with a video nobody can agree is real. You're sitting on your couch at like 1 in the morning, half watching random clips online when somebody reposts this shaky phone recording from a subway station. The camera's bouncing everywhere. People are screaming. A guy tackles somebody to the ground and then suddenly everyone around them starts running. The comments are exactly what you'd expect. Fake. This is marketing for a movie. Why does every video cut off at the perfect moment? You scroll past it after maybe 15 seconds. Honestly, most people do. At that point, weird videos are already such a normal part of the internet that your brain barely reacts anymore. Every week there's some new thing people obsess over for 2 days before forgetting about it completely. The next morning, you wake up late for work because your alarm never went off. Or maybe it did and you slept through it. Hard to tell anymore. You throw on clothes, grab your keys, and head out the door still half asleep. Outside, everything looks completely normal. Kids waiting for the bus. Some guy jogging with his dog. A woman yelling into her phone in the apartment parking lot. The usual. On the drive to work, the radio keeps mentioning isolated violent incidents happening in different cities, but they talk about it in that calm news anchor voice that makes everything sound less serious than it actually is. You barely pay attention. At work, though, people keep bringing it up. Not in a scared way yet. More joking. Your co-worker Tyler walks into the office and goes, "All right, if any of you start eating people, I'm going home early." A couple people laugh. Someone else says there's videos online of hospital patients attacking nurses. Another person says it's probably bath salts again. Then everybody kind of moves on with their day, because there are emails to answer and meetings to sit through, and normal life has this weird ability to continue right up until the moment it can't anymore. Around lunch, your mom texts you asking if you can stop by the grocery store after work. Grab water if they have any left. You text back, "Why wouldn't they?" She doesn't answer. By 5 o'clock, the grocery store parking lot already feels wrong. Not chaotic? Not yet. Just tense. People are moving faster than normal. Shopping carts full of bottled water and canned food rattle across the pavement while everyone avoids eye contact with each other like the entire place is carrying some invisible pressure nobody wants to acknowledge out loud. Inside, shelves are emptier than they should be. Not wiped out, but enough to notice. A guy near the bread aisle is loading an entire cart with medicine and batteries while talking loudly on speakerphone. "No, I'm telling you, something's happening." Nobody reacts to him. That's what sticks with you later. Nobody reacts because everybody's already nervous too. You end up buying way more than you planned to. Water, canned soup, frozen stuff, random snacks. The kind of groceries people buy when they're trying not to panic while absolutely panicking. At checkout, the cashier keeps glancing up at the TV hanging near the ceiling. Some emergency press conference is playing. The audio cuts in and out over the noise inside the store, but you catch certain words. Public safety. Containment. Temporary restrictions. The drive home feels heavier somehow. Traffic's worse than usual, and every gas station you pass has a line wrapped around the parking lot. That night the internet gets bad. Not funny weird. Actually bad. Videos everywhere. A man stumbling through an airport covered in blood. Police officers wrestling someone to the ground while people scream in the background. A live stream from an apartment window showing smoke rising somewhere downtown while helicopters circle overhead. Some of the clips are obviously fake. Some definitely aren't. For the first time, you feel this weird cold feeling in your stomach that has nothing to do with fear exactly. More like the feeling you get when you realize something familiar is starting to become unfamiliar. Like the rules everybody quietly depends on might not actually hold together forever. The next morning, your office closes. No explanation. Just an email saying employees should remain home until further notice. Schools shut down by the afternoon. Then around 6 that evening, everybody's phones go off at the exact same time. That emergency alert sound cuts through the house so sharply it almost makes your chest tighten. Residents are advised to remain indoors. That's the moment everything changes. Not because of the message itself, Because after the alert ends, the neighborhood goes completely silent. Normally, there's always background noise outside. Lawn mowers, dogs barking, kids yelling, cars passing every few seconds. Now there's almost nothing, just sirens far away. And helicopters. Your younger brother stands near the living room window, staring outside. There's nobody out there, he says quietly. And he's right. The strange thing about the first few days is that nobody really understands what's happening yet. The news keeps avoiding certain words. They say infected. They say violent individuals. They say mass public disturbances. But nobody officially says zombie because saying it out loud would make the whole thing feel insane, even though everybody's already thinking it. You stop sleeping normally after about 3 days. Nobody in the house says it directly, but everybody starts staying awake later. Listening, watching the windows, checking phones constantly, even though there's never any useful information anymore. At night, the city sounds different. Sometimes you hear distant screaming, sometimes gunshots, sometimes nothing at all. That almost becomes worse. One night around 2 in the morning, you look outside and see your neighbor standing motionless in the middle of his driveway. He's just standing there, not moving, not looking at anything, for almost 10 full minutes. Then, eventually, he slowly walks back inside his house. You never see him again after that. A week in, the power starts cutting out randomly across different parts of the city. The internet barely works anymore. Emergency broadcasts repeat the same instructions over and over like nobody's even updating them. Stay indoors. Avoid infected individuals. Wait for further guidance. But eventually, people realize something terrifying. There may not be any guidance coming. That realization changes people fast. The grocery stores get emptied within days after that. Not just food, everything, medicine, flashlights, batteries, baby formula, pet food. Your dad starts locking every door in the house constantly, even during the daytime. Your mom jumps whenever somebody walks past outside. Your younger brother barely talks anymore. The weirdest part is how quickly normal life disappears. Not dramatically, quietly. Nobody officially announces society ended. People just slowly stop going outside. A couple weeks later, you drive with your dad to search for supplies. The roads feel abandoned. Cars sit empty on the highway with doors hanging open. Some intersections still have wrecks nobody bothered clearing away. Fast food signs still glow at night even though nobody's working inside anymore. The world itself still looks normal. That's what makes it scary. The trees still move in the wind. The sun still rises every morning. It's humanity that suddenly feels missing. At one grocery store, you find maybe 10 other people inside scavenging shelves. Nobody speaks. Everyone moves quickly while pretending not to watch each other. Then, somewhere deeper in the building, you hear screaming. Everybody freezes. And without even thinking, every single person starts moving away from the sound immediately. Nobody tries helping. Nobody checks what happened. They just leave. That's when you realize apocalypse movies lied about something important. Most people do not become heroes when the world ends. They become afraid, smaller, more suspicious. Because survival shrinks your brain down to only immediate danger. Food, water, sleep, safety. Repeat. After about a month, the loneliness becomes worse than the fear. That's the part nobody talks about enough. You spend entire days sitting quietly in dark rooms, listening for sounds outside. Hours staring through windows. Hours checking locks. Hours trying not to think too hard. You start missing stupid things. Traffic. Restaurants. Hearing strangers laugh somewhere nearby. One night, you suddenly realize you haven't heard music in weeks. That realization almost breaks you emotionally for some reason. Because it makes the world feel dead in a way violence never did. The infected themselves almost stop feeling like the main problem after a while. You avoid them when you can. The real horror becomes what isolation does to people. Your dad sleeps with a baseball bat beside his bed now. Your mom cries sometimes when she thinks nobody notices. Your younger brother spends hours scrolling through old pictures on his phone, like he's trying to remember what normal life looked like. And every few nights somewhere outside, you hear gunshots echo through the darkness. Then silence again. Months later, you barely recognize yourself anymore. Every sound makes you tense up. You forgot what relaxed feels like. One evening near sunset, you're checking nearby houses for supplies when you notice movement behind a window across the street. A person, not infected. A girl around your age holding a flashlight. You both freeze when you see each other. For a second, neither of you moves. You should feel relieved. Another survivor. Another human being. Instead, both of you just look terrified. Because after months of fear and isolation, even people don't feel safe anymore. She grips the flashlight tighter. You slowly step backward off the porch. Neither of you says a word. Then she quietly closes the curtain. And standing there alone in the middle of the empty street, you finally understand the real horror of a zombie apocalypse. It's not watching people die. It's watching the world slowly lose every reason people trusted each other in the first place.